All right, so are you ready for this? Today we're doing a deep dive on something pretty big.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, it really is.
Huge.
It's a deep dive into the music industry and really gets into power dynamics and, that question of, are icons ever really what they seem?
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, we are unpacking the story of Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
You
Older
know,
musician.
icon.
Yeah. And now facing a wave of serious allegations.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it's a fascinating case study, really.
It is.
Diddy's story, if you just look at the surface, it's like the embodiment of the American dream.
Totally.
But then you have these accusations against him, and it kind of exposes this potential underbelly to all that success.
Yeah, and it's like everybody knows Diddy.
Right.
Like, he went from intern to running Bad Boy Records, launching Biggie and Mary J. I mean,
Yeah,
the man is a hip-hop legend,
for sure.
but it wasn't enough to just conquer music.
No, not even close.
Yeah,
I think that's key here.
right.
His ambition was always bigger.
Oh.
He understood the power of cultural capital.
Uh-huh.
You know how to translate that street cred into mainstream appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So then we saw Sean John clothing,
Right. Ciroc
Vodka,
Revolt TV.
Revolt TV, his own media platform.
Exactly.
This wasn't just about making hits.
Right.
It was about building an empire.
This man was building an empire. So we've got ambition like we've never seen before, right? And it's all very carefully crafted.
Yes.
This image of black excellence. And then, bam, these lawsuits hit.
Yeah.
So what is at the core of what's being alleged here?
So it's multi-layered, which is what makes it even more compelling.
Okay.
You've got former business partners that are claiming financial mismanagement, unpaid royalties.
Wow.
Basically, that Diddy wasn't playing fair even when there was big money involved.
Okay, so big money even.
Yeah.
So it's serious.
Yeah.
But if it was just about the money, then maybe it wouldn't be as shocking, right?
Right.
Because, business can be ruthless.
Totally.
But there's more.
Yeah. There's more to it.
There's more to it than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's really rocking the boat are these accusations from his former employees
Yeah.
and those in like his close circle.
Yeah, like his inner circle.
Yeah. And we're talking about alleged patterns of abusive behavior,
Okay.
creating a work environment that was toxic, even hostile.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
heavy stuff.
it is.
And that directly clashes with the public persona that he's built.
Right.
I mean, it makes you wonder, has anyone even gotten like a straight answer from Diddy himself about any of this?
I mean, well, so far it's mostly been denials.
Okay.
But it's interesting how these allegations are impacting his image.
Right.
Because we're at this point in time where public figures are held accountable, not just in a court of law, but also in the court of public opinion.
That is a really good point. Can you unpack that a little more? What does that court actually look like these days?
It's like this invisible jury.
Right.
Social media amplifies everything.
Oh, yeah.
So one accusation can go viral like that.
Instantly.
And then cancel culture comes in.
Yeah.
Brands start distancing themselves. Fans are debating boycotting. It can be so swift and brutal.
Yeah.
And it happens even before any legal judgment.
Right.
And Diddy is known for really carefully controlling his narrative.
Mm.
But this is a whole other beast to wrangle.
So with all of this heat on this situation, why are these accusations surfacing now? Like, what changed?
Timing is so fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
We can't ignore the ripple effects of the Me Too movement.
Right.
That movement really empowered people to speak out against misconduct,
Okay.
especially in industries like music and entertainment,
Right.
which have historically kind of protected their own.
Yeah, for sure.
It created this space where people felt like their voices might actually be heard.
Right. And it's not just one person.
No.
So it seems like this has opened the floodgates for multiple voices to come forward.
Exactly. There's a sense of solidarity that kind of emerges,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden those in power, they're not so untouchable anymore.
Right. Like the tides are turning.
Yeah, the ground is shifting.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder what kind of impact this will have on the industry as a whole.
That's a huge question.
It is.
Like, what happens if these allegations are proven true? Are we talking about like a full-blown reckoning in the music business?
It definitely has the potential to be a watershed moment.
Oh, wow.
I mean, if this leads to convictions or even just like a deeper public understanding of what went on,
Right.
it could force a major reevaluation of how power operates in the industry.
That's totally.
Like, will we see more transparency?
Interesting.
Stronger protections for artists and those working behind the scenes?
Yeah.
It's too early to say for sure, but.
It's like this isn't just gossip at this point.
Right.
It's about the systems that allowed this to potentially happen.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think, like, how do we even begin to unravel something this big?
Well, I think it starts with not shying away from uncomfortable conversations.
Okay, I like
So,
that.
we can't just praise the success stories without acknowledging what the cost of that success might be.
Okay.
And we have to think critically about the information that we're consuming.
Hold on, some more about the critical thinking part. What does that look like in this situation?
It means we can't just accept everything we see and hear as the truth, right?
Uh,
We're bombarded with information, especially
All
online.
the time.
Diddy's team is going to be pushing their narrative out there,
Of course.
and other people are going to have their own take.
Right.
It's our responsibility to question those narratives,
Yeah.
look for evidence, consider all different viewpoints.
So basically, don't just hit like and
Yeah.
share the first headline you see.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dig a little deeper.
Do your research.
And remember, there are nuances here.
Okay.
Just because somebody built a successful business doesn't erase the possibility of wrongdoing.
That's true.
And acknowledging that doesn't diminish their accomplishments.
Right.
It just adds more complexity to the whole picture.
Right. It's like holding those two ideas in your mind at the same time.
Right.
Like success and accountability are not mutually exclusive.
They're not.
But how do we square this with the fact that Diddy is still considered an icon,
Right.
especially within the Black community? How does that factor into all of this?
Yeah, that's where it gets really complex.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, Diddy represents Black empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
Like he broke barriers in a system that has historically been rigged against people like him.
Right.
So to try and reconcile that image with these allegations,
Right.
it's deeply unsettling.
It's really challenging, that narrative that people have held on to for so long.
Yeah,
It makes you really question what you choose to believe about someone you've admired.
and that's uncomfortable.
It is.
But I think it's in that discomfort that real growth can happen.
Okay.
It kind of forces a conversation about how we define success, and if achieving that success justifies unethical behavior.
Because the message that it sends, if we don't have those conversations, is that certain people are above the rules,
Right.
which just perpetuates this harmful system.
Exactly. And like we've been saying, this isn't just about one man or one industry.
Right.
It's like a microcosm of what we see all across society.
Wow, yeah.
The power imbalances, the struggle for accountability,
Mm.
the importance of speaking truth to power, even when it's really difficult.
Yeah.
And we also have to recognize that silence can be its own form of complicity.
So what can we actually do with this information besides, doom scrolling through headlines and hoping for the best?
Well, I think it starts with awareness, which, we're doing right now just by having this conversation.
Okay.
But beyond that, it's about demanding better
Okay.
from our leaders, from institutions, from each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have to support those who come forward, even when it's messy and even when there are no easy answers.
And on a more individual level, what can we take from all of this into our own lives, our own workplaces?
I think it's about taking a look at the environments that we're a part of.
Okay.
Are they built on respect, transparency, fairness? Or are there like these unspoken power dynamics at play that we need to challenge?
Yeah. Are we perpetuating something?
Right. We all have a role in shaping those cultures.
And being willing to ask those tough questions.
Yes.
Even of those that we admire.
Absolutely.
That's a powerful message.
Because true progress requires us to hold everyone accountable, no matter who they are or what their status is.
Wow. This deep dive really took us to some unexpected places.
Yeah.
Definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
And it'll be really interesting to see how this story unfolds, both legally and how it reshapes this conversation around power and accountability.
For sure.
And who knows what other truth might come to light as this all continues. It really makes you wonder, what more is there to uncover?
A lot, probably.
Right. Something to ponder, listeners. Until next time, keep asking those tough questions.